Hi skin lovers, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy. I know there are so many viral skincare trends come and goes every single month, but there are three that actually stuck with me and I have been doing them for a very long time. So in today's video, I'd like to show you what they are and how I make them work for my dry, acne-prone, and sensitive skin. So let's dive right in. Let's start with the first trend that actually changed the way I use actives, and it's called skin cycling. This trend went viral on TikToks for so many years, and if you are using actives, this is probably one of the best trends for you to do in order to preserve your skin barrier health while getting the results from actives. The way this trend works is to have one exfoliation night, one retinoid night, and then 1 to 2 nights of recovery. I think people take this trend and actually adjust it to their own skin concern. That's why there are so many versions flowing around. But let me break it down further so that you can understand this trend a lot better. In night 1 of exfoliation, there are choices of using lactic acid, mandelic acid, or any AHA, BHA that you want. But remember, if your skin is more sensitive and reactive, just use mild exfoliant in order to preserve the skin barrier. Then in night 2, this is when you're gonna go in with a retinoid. The reason why people follow an exfoliation night with retinoid night, because when the skin has been already exfoliated, it helps the retinoid to penetrate better and give better results. But it also means that there is a higher chance of you getting irritation because there are more actions happening on your skin. That's why, remember, I said we should go in with a lower strength of the exfoliant just as a precaution if your skin cannot tolerate a lot of things. And that was what I usually do in my skincare routine. My skin can get freaked out very easily. So I have to choose the mildest form of the exfoliant if I want to do the skin cycling. And remember, just do the retinoid in moderation. When you go overboard, even though that was not your intention, it can completely damage your skin barrier in the long run. And that is why this skin cycling would be followed with 1 to 2 recovery day. This is when you go in with intense hydration and nourishment to help your skin rebound from all of the action that happened in the previous day. This is a non-negotiable step if you want your skin to look healthy and glowy in the long run. I always recommend you to go in with the products that contain ceramides or hydrating and calming ingredient like Centella asiatica or more recently PDRN. Those are all very beneficial ingredients that can help rebuild and repair your skin barrier just in case that you have accidentally damaged them in the days prior. As for me, someone with a dry, acne-prone, and sensitive skin, I did have to make some adjustment to this skin cycling trend. And the way I do this trend is to have an exfoliation night, then a recovery night follow immediately after. I did not want to push my skin too far by having an exfoliating night and retinol night right after each other. So I put a recovery night in between just to help my skin breathe a little bit better. But also I know my skin limit. I could not tolerate to have 2 actives in a row. And even then, I would have to make sure that my exfoliant would be low in irritant and concentration, just so it didn't aggravate any potential problems that I might have had. And so far, my skin was so happy when I do this. I would 100% recommend you to do the skin cycling if you decide to use multiple actives in your skincare routine. This can help tremendously in rebuilding your skin barrier while giving you the results of all of the actives and retinoids that you want to use. Before continuing to the second trend, if you find this video interesting and helpful, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. Now let's get back to the video. The next trend I want to talk about is the Retinoid Sandwich. This trend, I remember I incorporated it probably 8 years ago when I first started trying to use retinoid. You would be wondering 8 years ago, and I'm still talking about it now because this trend would be resurfacing every couple years because people still have need to use retinoid probably every single day. So that's why people still talk about it. Even the dermatologists always talk about this as a precaution. When people mention retinoid sandwich, they actually mean that you would use a lighter moisturizer as the first step if your skin is really dry and sensitive as a buffer for your skin before you use the retinoid. And then once that have sink in and dry down, you can go in with a light layer of retinoid. You have to wait for the retinoid to actually dry down. Then you go in with a heavier moisturizer to seal everything in. So complicated and time consuming, but I promise when you do it, it would only take you probably 5 minutes to complete everything. Why this trend has worked so well for me is because, as I mentioned, I do have dry and sensitive skin, and putting just retinoid directly on my skin increased my chance of getting irritation, flaking, redness. So I like to avoid all of that if possible. I always go in with a light moisturizer. But if my skin was feeling a little bit better, healthier, I would just use maybe 1 to 2 layers of light toners, wait for it to sink in, and then I would go in with a retinoid. Usually in my case, I would use something very low strength as well. I used to use adapalene that can help with acne specifically, but I have moved on to retin, which is a lower and better tolerated strain of a retinoid. I did try out tretinoin probably 4 years ago during COVID, but my skin really cannot handle that level of irritation that I did end up having a full-on broke down of my skin barrier. So now I always take a safer approach with just the retinol, and it's still working really great for me. I always seal everything in with my Cica Blast Balm. I find that it provides just enough hydration, but also calming benefit to my skin so that it doesn't go out whack whenever I use retinoid. I think this trend can work for a lot of people regardless of your skin type because it's so simple to do but have a lot of benefits to help avoid skin irritation. As a side note, I actually use this same method for all of my active. You know I love my azelaic acid and it helped a lot with my acne and hyperpigmentation. But at the beginning, it is also very irritating on my skin. That's why I use the same method of having just a light layer of moisturizer and then azelaic acid and seal it all in with a heavier moisturizer. This helped my skin get used to the active in the beginning period. Once my skin used to it, I can just go back to my normal skincare routine. But this works for all of the strong actives that I want to bring into my skincare routine. So you don't have to just limit this to your retinoid. You can actually use this for any active that you think can potentially irritate your skin, but you still want to use it. This is a very safe way to do so. Finally, daily sheet masking. I love this trend so much. I honestly think this is one of the best trends out there that can do so much for the skin without a lot of negative effects. The way this works is every day you would use a sheet mask or toner pad, put it on for 3 to 5 minutes to provide that intense hydration on your skin. Of course, overdoing this would also be not good, but if you're only using it as like an intense hydration for a short period, that would be okay. And this trend is what I had actually leaned in for a very long time before I had to cut everything out for my skin reset. And it also went viral for people that actually use makeup. This can help your makeup go on more flawlessly and stay on longer without drying out your skin. So I actually love this a lot. However, there is a caveat. If you want to do this every single day, you have to choose a barrier-friendly, non-exfoliating sheet mask. If you were to use a exfoliating or brightening sheet mask every single day, it can actually slowly damage your skin barrier without you knowing. You can incorporate that into your daily sheet mask, but use it maybe 1 to 2 times a week. The rest of it, just use a normal hydrating, non-reactive, non-irritating sheet mask to help you with that moisture. I find the Pdarian daily mask for me works really well. I tend to use the bulk sheet mask just because it is a little bit cheaper, but also help a little bit in terms of saving that plastic packaging. So if you want to do this and not feel guilty about too much waste, I do think the bulk sheet mask would do really well for you. All in all, these trends are all very beneficial for the skin if you're incorporating them right. Just remember, whatever you see, and if you want to do, adjust it to your skin concern and the skin tolerant level. If you want me to do a full routine with these trends incorporated, let me know in the comment down below and I'll make the next video about those. And remember, take care of your skin, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!